What is going on, everybody? My name is Corey, and on the other end of this Zoom call, we have your boy Cody. And we are Ballers on a Budget coming back at you with a prediction video of now round 2 in the playoff, the Eastern Conference semifinals, if you will. Let's go ahead and talk about the 76ers and Washington. Philly faced off and beat the Wizards in round 1, 4-1. Before the playoffs started, obviously, Cody and I, we predicted our own brackets. And I did think the Wizards would get at least 2 games out of this series. And when Embiid went down in game 4 and sat out in game 5, I was thinking there would still be a shot to get that series record right. But, of course, not. At least the Sixers got me the only prediction that matters, and they moved on to round 2. So I am happy about that.
Yeah, I predicted right. Yeah, it's your boy. 4-1. I predicted they were going to get 1 win. Just Russ putting up trip dubs. You got to give them at least 1. They were the Goliath beaters, through the whole season anyways. In the 1 game they did win, like you said, in game 4, Joel Embiid went out. Game 5, they didn't have him, but they were able to pull through with the Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons show. Joel Embiid averaged 28 points, 10 rebounds throughout that series, which is, just about as normal, just being dominant as always when he's on the floor. But I want to highlight Ben Simmons. He gets a lot of hate. He can't hit the broadside of a barn if he's standing 2 feet from it. We all know that. But I don't know what game it was, but he put up 15 assists, and he's almost averaging a trip dub in the playoffs, and I think that's pretty incredible. Russell Westbrook did it right now. He obviously can't be doing it anymore, being eliminated from it. But Ben Simmons is currently getting 15 points a game, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. So he's insanely close. And them having that passer in Ben Simmons first, I think, actually benefits them more than having somebody else trying to clog the paint and clog lanes for the big man, Joel Embiid. So,
yeah,
76ers are good there. 2 games. I would never have thought 2 games. I was honestly thinking of a sweep at first, but like I said, you got to give them 1. But this is a wrap. 4-1. I got it right. About the only one I got right. So
yeah.
Let's move on to the next one that matters. Take it away.
Also in round 1, Knicks at Hawks. I actually did take the Knicks to win this series. And let me just kind of explain my thinking a little bit. Coming into the playoffs, Knicks won 7 of their last 10 regular season games. They were looking pretty good. And they also beat Atlanta all 3 times throughout the season. 113-108 in January, 123-112 in February, and 137-127 in an overtime game in April. If you average the points in just those 3 games, that's 124.33 repeated points per game for the Knicks. In this 5-game playoff series, the Knicks only averaged 97 points. They also had 46 rebounds and 18 assists.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Knicks weren't what we thought they were. Obviously, I had a big heart on for my man J-Ran, having one of the better defenses in the league. I thought normally in the playoffs, this is where it slows down. Defense wins championships. We all know that across every sport. Just the Knicks did not come through. Trae Young, he came through big time. He got spit on. And then he spit right back in the whole Knicks organization by just destroying them every single game. Averaging nearly 30 points and 10 assists so far. So, and yeah, I picked the Knicks too, obviously. I hate to say it. I don't even know what I picked the series to go. I think I picked the Knicks 4-3. So at least I knew Atlanta was going to do some damage, but the Knicks not doing any is not what I predicted. And 97 points is around where they fell in the regular season. I know they did not have an explosive offense, which is something they were obviously missing in this Atlanta game, but their defense was always good, and that's what you banked on, and you just couldn't bank on it anymore. They were playing Julius Randle upwards of almost 40 minutes a game, which is crazy. And we all know when you play your starters that much, it tends to hurt when it comes down to clutch time and at the end of the season. They played 72 games in the regular season, and then now they're hopping on and playing the same team over and over and over. People tend to get a feel for you. And Tom Thibodeau, this series was over, and Tom Thibodeau still had Julius Randle out there with 12 minutes left in the last game. And I was scared of Derrick Rose was going to happen again, being out on the floor and getting injured for no reason. Luckily, that didn't happen. But unluckily, I was wrong. Me and you were both wrong on our pick with New York and Atlanta.
Yeah, I should have known when I posted the bracket for day one. We also have another brother who does not watch a lick of sports except maybe some college wrestling, and he said he was taking the Knicks. I should have changed my pick right away.
Oh,
Shout out to him though.
Colors.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get predicting this Eastern Conference semifinals. This matchup being Philadelphia 76ers at Atlanta Hawks. Philly did take 2 of their 3 games against Atlanta in the regular season by a pretty decent margin. And I do have the Sixers winning this series against the Hawks 4-2. Philly is averaging 124 points per game, 45 rebounds, and 27 assists in the playoffs right now, compared to Atlanta's 104, 44, and 20. So I'm thinking statistically they can score, rebound, and move the ball just a little bit better than the Hawks. With the recent injury to Embiid, I should change this to 4-3. I won't, but I probably should. Philly showed that even with Embiid sidelined for games 4 and 5 of round 1, that they do have players that will step up and contribute if he needs a little bit of rest. The only downside to his injury that sticks in my mind is I'm afraid that if it gets too serious, this Philly team, they'll tire out or just falter at some point. Hopefully for them and hopefully for my pick, that's not the case. But like I said, I am taking the Sixers 4-2.
Yeah, the Joel Embiid injury does scare me as well. In the regular season, the 76ers have shown that they can run off the Harris and Simmons show. They've shown that, but they've also shown that they can't do it for an extended period of time. They start losing when they're left with themselves for too long. Clearly a better assisting team than the Hawks. Like I mentioned, Ben Simmons is always good for nearly 10 assists a game, which is nice of them. The only thing I don't like is the 76ers right now are averaging 20 more points per game in the postseason than Atlanta. I just think it's kind of skewed a little bit because the 76ers are a great team, obviously 1 seed, going against Washington, who had the absolute worst defense in the league, giving up the most points per game throughout the regular season the whole way through. And then you get to the Hawks, who are only putting up 104 points per game in the postseason, but they also played the best defense in the league, allowing the fewest points per game throughout the whole postseason. So I think it's a little bit more even than we think. But as long as as long as Joel Embiid is healthy, I don't think they have a problem. Clint Capella can't stop Joel Embiid. And Trae Young being the only dead-eye shooter on that team, I think if you run him off the 3-point with Ben Simmons, Ben Simmons is tall, lanky, run him off the 3-point, make him drive, make Trae Young have to pass to his role players or make a hard layup around a paint that's clogged by Joel Embiid. I just don't think it's going to happen as well as people think. And I'm predicting this 76ers winning 4-1. I'm not going to give them 2. I'll give them 1. Just like Spider-Man says, everybody gets 1.
Yeah.
Unless you're the Heat. But,
Yeah.
but that's just my take on this. As long as Joel Embiid's healthy, I think this is all full steam ahead. You're going to see 76ers in the conference finals in the East.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully for us that comes true. This next team I want to talk about, obviously the Bucks, coming off of their janitorial first round, 4 straight wins for the sweep of the unimpressive Miami Heat. And now they're on about a week of rest. I did think Jimmy Buckets and the Heat would at least get 2 wins. You see a pattern. I like 4-2 for some reason. Maybe giving them too much more, giving the teams a little bit more credit than they deserve. But Giannis and the Bucks, they didn't even want to come close to that. Go ahead and sweep them. Giannis did end this series with his first playoff trip dub, 20 points, 12 rebounds, and a playoff career high for him of 15 assists. Gotta love watching him play.
Yeah, I think as long as the Bucks keep playing that crash and kick game, I think the role players are going to keep stepping up. Bryn Forbes has increasingly got more minutes, and he's looking impressive. Drew Holiday is finally looking like the Holiday we all needed. Hallelujah in that, because they needed that point guard. That's what they've been missing this whole time. Middleton, obviously being Middleton, hitting the shots he needs to make. He's always been Giannis's right-hand man for the past 4 years, probably. And what intrigued me about this, and sadly, I picked the Heat too. Stupidly, I hate myself for even picking the Heat. We all thought we were going to get the bubble Heat, but no, we got the Heat from before LeBron even came, before Dwayne Wade, after Dwayne Wade won the championship, and they were nothing until they decided to come together. The first game in the series was the best. The Bucks won 107-109. Chris Middleton had to hit a game-winning shot for it to even win the game. It was a great game. That's what we all thought we were going to get for about 6 or 7 games straight. That's not at all what we got. There were 17 lead changes in that first game alone. The 3 games after, there were only 2. So pretty much saying once Milwaukee took over, they didn't let off the clutch. They were full bore all the way. And that's not what I thought. And the main reason I thought the Bucks were even going to lose is because Giannis openly said to the public, just blatantly, like, oh, yeah, this year could end badly for us like past years, or it could be good, whatever. Just kind of shrugged it off. That doesn't state confidence in the once MVP, the Greek Freak. So I picked the Heat. I was insanely wrong. I'll be the first to admit it. And Giannis is going to move on and do incredible things. It's going to be very hard to stop them. And they're playing with a type of aggression, which is going to be scary for whoever they play next round. Speaking of which, go ahead.
Yeah, this next round I do not think will be as fun for them. Bucks go up against the Nets, and I do expect this series to be one of the more entertaining coming out of the East. Bucks come in averaging about 118 points, 59 rebounds, and 26 assists. I think if Milwaukee wants any chance of winning this series, they're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive in the paint. They're going to have to continue to fight for those second and third chances off of the rebounds. And they cannot give the Nets any unnecessary chances at the free throw line. Also, you got to be careful with the ball. Turnovers matter, especially in games like these. They're very crucial, obviously. The Nets, on the other hand, I think the game plan's simple for them. Do not change your identity. Play the games like you would every other game. Uh, Two, you got to keep pressure on Giannis, meaning don't let him crash the boards and don't double him unless you absolutely have to. I think there's too much risk in putting two people on him in the paint and he dishes out uh, to pretty much anybody for an uncontested 3-pointer. And three, you got to contest shots. You got to put your hands in the faces of Middleton, of Forbes, and Portis on every shot and play close defense. Don't let him get those open, easy shots. They're going to be crucial in this series. And I think Brooklyn will let you score a fair amount of easy twos because they are a team that is very capable of hitting those better shots and bigger threes. Now, obviously, the stats do favor Brooklyn in the shooting department, and there's not really a shock there. 49.6% from the field, 42.6% from three, and 91.2 from the free throw line. So with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and pick my winner. ESPN has this matchup at almost 83%. Obviously, Nets over the Bucks, and I do have to agree with them. Maybe not the exact number, but I do think the Nets are gonna win this series over the Bucks. And I did predict this when we filled out our bracket, and I'm gonna say the Nets are gonna win this exciting series 4-3. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm a little bit reluctant to say 4-3 because I think it's going to be a hell of a lot closer than the 80% domination from the Nets. Nets, we all know, have no defense whatsoever. And as much as I love my man B. Griff, he cannot stop Giannis going to the basket. And if you can't stop Giannis going to the basket, that means you're going to have to bring either another body or, like you said, let him have the easy twos. Twos are less than three. I hope we can all count. So do you let him have the twos, or do you put another body in the paint and let him pass out to his role players who have been hitting it? Giannis is just playing on the next level. And Bryn Forbes, we already talked about it. He's hitting his shots, getting more minutes. And you already mentioned it, the crash and kick. I think this is where this is going to be the most relevant plays you possibly can have. Literally just drive Giannis to the paint. If they put somebody else on him, put two people in the paint or three, you have multiple people. He's just got to be smart enough to dish it to him, and the role players have to knock it down. And if you don't, Giannis is going to have a heyday in the paint. I know Brook Lopez, he's not much, but he's an Anderson Varejao type player, scrappy, fun-loving guy, just a good camaraderie to have on the team. Every team, I think, needs a player like that. Not necessarily, yeah. Well, he plays a hell of a lot bigger role than Varejao played in some of those championship runs, let me tell you. But Lopez gets underlooked. He can still grab 10-plus rebounds. He's a good passer when need to be, and he doesn't demand the ball, which he shouldn't, because he's sloppy with it, which is fine. But I'm still taking the Nets 4-3. The big three for the Nets are just on another level, as much as I hate to say it. I was not a fan of them. I was fine with KD and Kyrie coming together. You know, that was like the LeBron and Wade coming together, like, hey, let's team up. Let's get a ring. You know, let's try to go out and get a ring. Our team's not too stacked. We still got to do it like LeBron and Wade did. And obviously, LeBron and Wade had Bosh, but Kyrie is twice the player Bosh is or was. Kyrie can just go get his own shot, do what he needs to do. He can handle it. He can drive it. It's just, I think they're trying too hard and they're looking desperate to get a ring. And it's not a good look on KD, knowing he doesn't have a ring outside of going on to a superstar team. I know a lot of people can make that same argument with LeBron, but it's just not the same. And it's just not. LeBron doesn't run to teams that he loses to. That being said, Kevin Durant with his injury scares me. We all know what happened in the Warriors. He had an injury. We all knew it was going to happen, but he wanted to push it anyways because he wanted to be out there for his team. I hope this isn't the same thing. It didn't look as severe as well. And when he played with the Warriors, his Achilles didn't look severe either because it didn't look bad. He started limping, and then next thing we know, it was torn. So it sucks, but I don't think his injury will be that bad. I don't even know what he injured. I think it was his hamstring. I'm not sure. I just seen a picture of him going all spaghetti arms, the wacky waving inflatable arm tube man guy. That's what he was kind of reminiscent of right now. But needless to say, when he does play, he does work. 32 points a game right now in the playoffs, 7 rebounds. Kyrie, 24 points, almost 25 points a game. And then you got the guy who I think is the lifeline of this team. When you don't have Harden, you don't have that playmaking. Kyrie can dance and do what he needs to do, but we all know Kyrie's not the guy. James Harden is this guy right now. 28 points a game, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds from Harden. He's playing out of his mind, and I think he's playing better right now. And I think he's playing smarter than what he did for the Rockets. When he played for the Rockets, all he wanted to do was just chuck up shots and score because he had to be that guy. Now he's playing a lot smarter, playing a lot more aggressive, knowing he has guys he can fall back on. And those three are just going to take their turns. So I do think it is going to be 4-3. They edge the Bucks a little bit, but I think it is going to be the most entertaining series in the East. I think we're already watching the most entertaining in the West with Mavs and Clippers.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think this series is going to be very entertaining. The one game they've lost so far in the playoffs was because Jason Tatum put up 50 points, and he couldn't do that for 6-7 games if need be. So obviously we knew they were just going to get dog walked there. But like I mentioned to you earlier, I just hope there's no more gates in these series. The fans are out of control. We have popcorn gate, spit gate, water bottle gate. And I hope Kyrie, as much as I don't like Kyrie, I think he's arrogant, whatever. He thinks he's smarter than what he really is. And he's the only guy ever I am a true believer to shut up and dribble. Because when you open your mouth, it doesn't sound good, but your moves on the court look good. So just stick with that. He deliberately came up and stepped and was wiping his feet on the Boston logo. You know how fans are. We've been cooped up. The coronavirus has us all bottled up. Speaking of bottled, that's what went flying. I would not walk into someone's house, wipe my muddy feet on the carpet, and not expect a water bottle flying on my head. And that's not me saying that the fan had a right to do it. But you can't. They make millions of dollars, and they can't take it when they dish it out. That's the only thing I don't like. Back in the old days, let Ron Artest wipe his feet on the logo. You throw a water bottle at him, he's not going to bitch and moan. He's going to get in the stands and beat your ass. This will not happen back in the day, okay? So Kyrie just needs to calm down, put his pacifier back in his fucking mouth, and just dribble the damn ball.
Yeah, I agree. These fans are feeling a little too safe and comfortable sitting in the bleachers now. Back in the day, you're right.
Barstool Sports, Big Cat and PFT. Hilarious. They had a take where they said just once a year, one of the player gets one time a year to where they can challenge a fan to a boxing match in the middle of the court. And they can only do it once, so they want to wait till it happens. And this is when it would all be happening in the playoffs and toward the end of the year. And I think it would just teach a lot of fans to just keep your shit to yourself. Like I said, that water bottle was $4. Why are you chucking that in the first place? I would have chugged it. I would have chugged all that water down and threw an empty bottle at him if I had to. I ain't wasting that much money or water on Kyrie.
I'd have been reusing that bottle for the next year and a half. But yeah, just don't be crazy, everybody. We're getting back in the swing of things. Let's go out there, have fun. Your team lost. Obviously, I'm a Bulls fan. I didn't even get a chance to make playoffs. So,
Cavs fan here. I feel you, dude.
yeah. So yeah, both of us are taking the Sixers, and both of us are taking the Nets in this round two. We will be doing a West version of this video as soon as Dallas wins their last game, which will screw up my pick, but got to root for your boy Luka. He just does his thing. Anyways, Cody, why don't you go ahead and close us out today?
Before it closes out, Mavs and Clippers play Sunday. Like he said, game 7, tied 3-3 so far in that series, and nobody has won a home game, and this is in LA. So if the trend continues, Mavs will take it. But I gotta say, I was also very impressed by Kawhi last game, so we'll see. I'm ready to start the research. I'm ready to start the video process as we always do.
I've already started. Yep.
That was your boy Corey. I'm Cody. Be sure to like and subscribe. Follow us. All the social media links are in the description. And we're out.